Hello, viewers. Today we shall be talking about four pillars for a peaceful and successful home. If you want your home to be peaceful, you have to know these four major pillars. These four major pillars are personalities. Yes, they are personality. But you know that in every pillar, it is the same ingredient that makes a pillar. A pillar is made up of sand, cement, water, gravel, you know, and iron. Yes, iron rod to make it very, very strong. Now, every time you talk about pillar, you are talking about the supporting system of a building or edifice. No matter how big, how gigantic an edifice is, and how beautiful it is, if there is no pillar, it is going to crumble. Once there is a storm, it is going to crumble. And storms are part of life. The same thing in a home. There are times that there will be storms, there will be challenges, things will happen. And that's why these four pillars are very germane to every home. So, and when we look into the Bible, Genesis 28, verse 18, when God appeared, when Jacob had an encounter with God, the first thing he did is to make a pillar. In book of Galatians chapter 2, verse 9, Galatians chapter 2, verse 9, certain apostles were called the pillars, of the early church, and that is Peter, James, and John. They were referred to as pillars. It means men can actually be pillars. Personalities can be pillars. So let's look at these four major pillars that we are talking about. Number one, Matthew 22, verse 37. He said, "You shall love the Lord thy God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your spirit, with all your might." Now, for God, God is the first personality, the first pillar in your home, and there must be love for God. Now, the fact that you are married, the fact that you have a family, yes, there's a Bible that says you must love your wife, you must love your husband. But it does not, the love for husband and wife does not supersede that of God. God is the first pillar and the most important pillar in a home if you want to experience a peaceful home. First Corinthians chapter 1, verse 24 says that Jesus is the wisdom of God and is also the power of God. For every home, you need power to be able to sustain that home, to be able to sustain the peace in the home. Because the Satan and his satanic agent, they will, as a thief, they will come to steal, to kill, to destroy. But when there is a power, you'll be able to withstand and rebuke them. You also need wisdom. Wisdom is better than weapon of war. Wisdom is better than strength. Every home, needs wisdom. And these two things, you can only get it from God. So the most important thing for your home is the most important pillar for every home is God. And this will form a triangular relationship. The husband and the wife will be at the base, while God will be at the top. The reason many families, the husband and wife, the spouse are torn apart is because they are not close to God. The way a home is structured is God is at the top, the husband and wife, they are at the bottom. And as they are moving towards God, putting their focus on God, they are getting closer to one another. They are getting closer to one another. So when you shift your attention to God and you obey the word of God and you do things that is of God, you see that naturally the spouse will be connected to themselves. Number two is the love for the spouse. Is the love for the spouse. In First Corinthians chapter 13, from verse 1 to 13, tells us a lot about love. This is an unconditional love that is not based on beauty, not based on sex, not based on money, not based on affection, not based on property and other like, not based on physique or intelligence, but simply the unconditional love that I have vowed to love you before God and before man, and I will stay with that vow till the end because I know that at the end of my life, I'm still going to be accountable back to God over how I loved you. When you are at the altar, you made a vow you will love Him during sunshine and during raining time. So that love is an unconditional love that you must maintain in your home. You are not loving your spouse based on what he or she is doing to you. You are loving your spouse based on what God says you must, according to the word of God. It's not a case of truth for tat. Romans chapter 12, verse 9 says, let love be without dissimulation, without deceit, without condition. That is the kind of love that must be in the home. And that kind of love will show affection, will show commitment, will show loyalty. There will not be any case of infidelity. In fact, that kind of love will make the spouse to be better than who he or she is before they got married. That is the kind of love that God, wants. It will honor the spouse. Number three is the love for the children. This is very germane. It is the love for the children. Your children is the third pillar in the home. If you want that home to stand, because your children are your future, your children are your future. It's either they perpetuate your name or they will wipe out your name. That's why Proverbs 22 verse 6 says you must train those children. Now, when you love a child, you will train the child. A child that is left to himself, Bible says, will bring shame unto you. You must always see those children as your pillar. They are the one that will continue the legacy that you are leaving behind. And it depends on how you train them that will determine how far your name will still continue to be relevant in the affairs of life. This is the mistake that Eli and Samuel made. They did not train their children, and their house collapsed. Eli died and was wasted along with his children. But in Samuel's case, he lost the leadership of the Israelites, and his children were denied to continue in that leadership position. So when you love your children, you must train them because they are the pillar of your home, if in the future of that home. And finally, is I call it the love for others. The love for others. These others include your in-laws. It includes the friends of your spouse. It includes the neighbors and every other person. There are so many cases of women not wanting to see their mother-in-law or breaking the bond between the family of their wife or the family of their husband from the wife or from the husband itself. This is very long. You are breaking the pillar of your home. You see, in every life, in every family, things will eventually happen at one point or the other, and you will need other people to come to your rescue. So you need your in-law. You have to take them as your own family, and you have to relate to them like your own family. That is the way to go. That's because they are also one of the pillar in the home. Your friends, don't be as if as soon as you get married, you separate your husband from his friend. You separate your wife from his friend. Don't be the one that will separate your husband from his family or from your wife from his family. They are pillar. Yes, they shouldn't be interfering in the day to day, but that doesn't mean that you should close the door against them. So these are the four major pillars: God, number one; two, your spouse; three, your children; and four, your others, which includes the in-laws, the neighbors, the friends, and what have you. If those four pillars are in right perspective and very strong, very germane, you will experience peace in your home, because there are times that you think that your spouse is happy by separating them from friends or whatever, but inwardly they are not happy. And every time they have the opportunity, they show their displeasure, and then your home will lose its peace. Till I